Alright, here is another review that I won't post for forever. Okay, the book that I'm going to review today is Trilobite, I Witnessed the Revolution by Richard Fortey. This book was published in October of 2000 by Knopf, and this book has 304 pages, and this has 536 ratings in Goodreads. Obviously, this is a nonfiction book, and Richard Fortey is a paleontologist at the Natural History Museum, formerly known as the British Museum, and he really loves trilobites. Like, he really loves trilobites. And you definitely got that feeling from this book. This book, I would say, is like 1/3 kind of an autobiography, or just like him involved in searching for these trilobites, him studying them, his theories on them, his disagreements with some other scientists on theories on these trilobites. Also, another third is the history of the study of these, when people first discovered them, what they first called them, going into the different Latin, like the nomenclature of these trilobites, why different species are called certain things, and getting into the Latin etymology. And then another portion, it's kind of odd, it's like another smaller portion is actually specifically about these prehistoric, not crustaceans, but these prehistoric creatures that we just have a bunch of fossils for. Yeah, I think that was one of the odd things that I kind of found out about this book, is that it was a lot, like, you could definitely tell this author loved these things. Like, he loved these, he started looking for these ever since he was 14, and he just got hooked on them. He drove away roommates because he was crazy about them, and he's very enthusiastic about it, and he goes into scientific etiquette and how scientists disagree, how they should disagree. You know, some scientists he's had beefs with, how scientists should act when someone presents an alternative theory and not be bitchy about it. And so it's kind of about trilobites. It's just like, you know, the scientific world centered around the subject of trilobites. And like I said, this book he's very enthusiastic about trilobites, and he tries to get very romantic and poetic, and even makes like allegories to these of like actors on a great stage and Shakespearean play, and all of their different shells or like different costumes, and what different adaptations are for, and what they mean and they say, and he's very, very caught up in this, and he's just so caught up in this book. He kind of gets to a point where he kind of forgets that a layperson might be reading this, or someone who's not as enthusiastic about these trilobites is reading it. And so it seems like he's kind of like caught up in his reverie about these creatures, and he's kind of forgetting that he's kind of losing the interest of the person he's talking to. It's like you're super interested in something, and you just go like 100 miles an hour talking about it, and then you realize halfway through, you're like, oh, this person might be bored. I think I might need to slow down, or I think I might need to make it more relatable. But it kind of seems like this guy kind of forgot that stuff. It does have interesting information, but it's kind of hard to really sink your teeth into it or really get caught up in it. It's like kind of a mismatch. At least it was mismatched for me, of my interest level and his interest level, and I kind of felt like I couldn't catch up with that. And like, he's so caught up in this subject already that he kind of forgets how to lay the breadcrumbs to get a layperson interested in it. It has plenty of pictures, and I would have to say that if you are afraid of insects, don't look at the pictures. Or, I mean, like, I'm not that really that grossed out about insects or anything like that, but some of these, I mean, it looks like some of these like were could have been inspirations for alien monster movies, you know. I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. It was good, but it just kind of didn't really catch me so far. I mean, if it was like what I expected it to be, I probably would have given it a 4 out of 5 stars, and if it was exceeded my expectations, I would have given it a 5 out of 5 stars. But this one kind of didn't quite meet my expectations in being able to get me enthusiastic about this topic, so I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. So yeah, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day. Bye.